Hello, everyone. So let's talk about what's real, not what's wishful thinking. Listen carefully. There's something building in the communication channels around you, not metaphorically, not in some vague, energetic sense, but in the actual tangible realm of how people reach out, make contact, break silence. Someone has something to say to you, something they've been holding, something they've been processing, something they've been working up the courage or clarity to express. And that's something, it's significant. It's not casual check in content. It's not small talk. It's not surface level communication that comes and goes without impact. This is the kind of message that shifts things, that creates before and after. That changes how you understand a situation or a person or a possibility. Stay grounded, because I'm not telling you this to create anxiety about when your phone's going to buzz. I'm not trying to make you obsessively check your messages, waiting for something that might never come. I'm telling you this so you're aware, so you're prepared. So when it does happen, you can receive it consciously instead of reactively. And it is building. The energy is there. The intention is forming. The communication is moving from possibility into probability. Can you feel this? This sense that something's pending with someone? Drop a comment if you already know who this might be about. Because here's what I'm picking up on about what's actually happening. There's someone in your orbit, could be close, could be distant, could be someone you talk to daily or someone you haven't heard from in months, who's been going through an internal process about you. They've been thinking, reflecting, processing, working through their own feelings, their own perspective, their own understanding of what exists or existed between you. And that process, it's reaching a point of needing external expression where keeping it internal is no longer sustainable, where the pressure to communicate is overriding the fear or hesitation that's been keeping them silent. They've drafted messages they haven't sent. They've picked up the phone and put it down. They've rehearsed conversations in their head. They've imagined different ways of saying what needs to be said. And now they're moving from rehearsal into action, from thinking about reaching out to actually doing it. Not because I'm predicting it, but because that's what happens when internal pressure reaches a certain threshold. It has to release, it has to find expression, it has to move from thought into word. Does this match energy you've been sensing? Let me know in the comments, because let me get specific about who this might be and what they might be communicating. For some of you, this is someone from your past, an ex, a former friend, someone you had significant connection with who's been absent or distant, and what they're reaching out to say. It could be apology, recognition of how they showed up poorly, acknowledgement of hurt they caused, taking responsibility they didn't take before. Or it could be confession, feelings they never expressed, truth they kept hidden, honesty about what you meant to them that they couldn't voice when they had the chance. Or it could be request for another chance, for reconnection, for the opportunity to show up differently than they did before. Whatever the specific content, it's going to be vulnerable. It's going to be them exposing something they've been protecting. It's going to require them to risk rejection. in order to be honest. For others of you, this is someone currently in your life, a partner, a friend, someone you're in active relationship with, but where there's been tension or distance or unspoken things, and what they're reaching out to say, it could be clarification. Finally being direct about intentions that have been vague, finally naming what they want or don't want, finally breaking through the ambiguity that's been creating confusion. Or it could be commitment, decision to move forward in ways they've been hesitant about, willingness to deepen or formalize or invest in ways they couldn't before. Or it could be ending. Honest acknowledgement that this isn't working, clear communication about needing to step back or move on, difficult truth delivered with as much care as possible. Whatever it is, it's going to create clarity where there's been fog. It's going to shift dynamics that have been stuck. It's going to change your understanding of where you stand. For others still, this is someone new or unexpected, someone you don't have significant history with, someone who's been observing from a distance or who's entering your orbit fresh, and what they're reaching out to, say it could be interest, attraction they've been holding, desire to connect that they haven't acted on yet, an opening towards something new. Or it could be opportunity, professional connection, collaborative possibility, door opening to something you've been working toward. Or it could be information, something they know that affects you, something they've witnessed, something they feel you need to be aware of. Whatever it is, it's going to be unexpected. It's going to come from a direction you weren't watching. It's going to surprise you with its content or its source or its timing. Which scenario feels most relevant to your situation? Comment below and let me know, because here's what you need to understand about why this communication is building now. It's not random, it's not arbitrary. There's a reason this person is moving toward reaching out at this particular time. Maybe they've reached a decision point in their own life, and that's forcing clarity about you. Maybe they've been processing something and they've finally worked through it enough to communicate. Maybe circumstances have changed that make communication possible or necessary in ways it wasn't before. Maybe they've just hit their limit with sitting on what they need to say. Maybe the discomfort of not saying it has finally exceeded the fear of saying it. Whatever the specific trigger, the result is the same. They're moving from silence into communication, from internal processing into external expression. And that movement, you can't control it. You can't force it. You can't make it happen faster or prevent it from happening. All you can do is be aware that it's building and decide how you want to receive it when it arrives. Have you been sensing someone's energy even without direct contact? Let me know in the comments, because I want to talk about what change everything actually means. It doesn't necessarily mean your entire life transforms in one message. It doesn't mean all your problems solve or all your questions answer. What it means is this communication is going to shift something fundamental in how you understand a situation, in what's possible, in what you know about someone or something. And that shift, it creates a fork, a decision point, a moment where you have to choose how to respond, what to do with new information, where to go from here. Maybe the change is that you finally get closure you've been needing. And that closure allows you to fully move forward in ways you couldn't before. Maybe the change is that you get confirmation of something you've been sensing. And that confirmation validates your instincts and gives you clarity to act on what you know. Maybe the change is that an opportunity presents itself and that opportunity opens a path that wasn't visible before. Maybe the change is that you have to make a choice you've been avoiding, and making that choice sets a trajectory that everything else follows. The communication itself might be brief, might be simple, might not look dramatic from the outside, but its impact, that's where the everything changes lives. In what it catalyzes, in what it clarifies, in what it makes possible or necessary. Does this distinction make sense? Drop a comment if this is landing, because here's what I need you to hear about your role in this. When the communication comes, and I'm sensing it's coming, you need to receive it from your center, not from your wound, not from the part of you that's been waiting desperately for contact, not from the part that's ready to grab onto anything that looks like validation or resolution, but from the grounded part, the clear part, the part that can hear information without immediately making it mean something about your worth or your choices or your future. Because how you receive this communication matters as much as what the communication contains. If you receive it from desperation, from neediness, from hope that someone else's words will fix what's broken in you, you're going to make choices you'll regret. You're going to give weight to things that don't deserve weight. You're going to let someone else's readiness override your own discernment. But if you receive it from groundedness, from clarity, from connection to your own knowing, you can assess it accurately. You can take what serves and leave what doesn't. You can make choices that actually align with where you are now, not where you were when this communication would have meant something different. Can you commit to receiving from your center? Let me know in the comments, because I want to address what might be happening in you as you read this. Part of you is hoping this is about a specific person, the person you want to hear from, the person whose silence has been loud, the person whose communication would feel like relief. And maybe it is that person. Maybe they are the one who's building toward reaching out, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's someone else entirely. Maybe the communication that changes everything comes from a direction you weren't watching. And if that's the case, if it's not who you hoped, don't dismiss it. Don't overlook it because it doesn't match your expectation. Don't miss what's actually available because you're fixated on what you wish were available. Because sometimes the communication that changes everything isn't from who we want, it's from who we need, or from who has what we actually require to move forward, even if it's not what we've been hoping for. Stay open, stay flexible, stay willing to be surprised. Does this feel like important guidance? Comment below if you needed this reminder. Because here's what else I'm sensing about this pending communication. The content might be uncomfortable. It might not be what you want to hear. It might require you to face something you've been avoiding or adjust something you've been assuming. And if that's the case, if the message brings difficult truth or unwelcome clarity, that's still change. That's still valuable. That's still information that serves you even if it doesn't feel good. Because comfortable lies don't move you forward. Pleasant illusions don't create growth. Avoiding hard truth doesn't protect you. It just keeps you stuck. So if the communication that comes is challenging, if it disrupts what you wanted to believe, if it forces you to reckon with reality you've been denying, that's not the universe being cruel. That's clarity arriving. That's truth breaking through. That's you being given the information you need to make real choices instead of staying in fantasy. And that changes everything. Not in the feel good way, but in the real growth way. Can you handle truth even when it's uncomfortable? Let me know in the comments, because I want to prepare you for different scenarios. Scenario 1, the communication comes. It's what you hoped for. It opens doors you thought were closed. It creates possibility you thought was gone, and you feel relief, excitement, hope, the sense that finally something's working out in that moment. Take your time. Don't rush. Don't let excitement override discernment. Make sure what's being offered actually aligns with what you need, not just what you've been wanting. Scenario 2, the communication comes. It's not what you hoped, but it's what you needed. It brings clarity that's been missing. It creates closure that allows forward movement, and you feel disappointed, sad, maybe even angry that reality doesn't match your wishes. In that moment, let yourself feel it. Process the grief, but also recognize the gift of knowing, the gift of being able to move forward with truth instead of staying stuck in hope. Scenario 3, the communication comes from someone unexpected. It shifts your focus. It opens a path you weren't considering, and you feel confused, unsure whether to engage, uncertain about what this means. In that moment, stay curious. Explore without committing. See where it leads without forcing it to be something specific. All 3 scenarios are valid. All 3 can change everything in their own way. Which one feels most likely for you? Drop a comment and let me know. Because here's what I really want you to understand. This communication that's building, it's not the thing that completes you. It's not the answer to all your questions. It's not the solution to all your problems. It's information. It's data. It's a piece of the puzzle you're working with. And what you do with that information, how you integrate that data, what you build with that puzzle piece, that's where your power lives. Not in what someone says to you, but in how you receive it and what you choose based on it. So when the call comes, when the message arrives, when the communication manifests, breathe, ground, center, then receive, assess, choose from your wisdom, from your knowing, from your clarity about what actually serves your life. The communication is coming, and it might change things, but you're the one who determines what that change actually means. Stay in your power, stay grounded, stay clear, and whatever message arrives, you'll handle it. I don't sell futures, I build architects. No predictions, just the raw truth for the tough ones. Stay magic, stay in the now.